We all know that life, like you go out there, you pick up an Endo CVT, or you don't know what that is, or you go to buy like some Toyo Proxy R888Rs, or you don't know what those are, and you go to your cart and you figure out and you find out just how much it costs to pick up just those two things, and you think to yourself, you know, if I actually sold my second kidney, I could probably buy the parts, and it's been like statistically proven that you don't need a second kidney, so what the hell, why the hell not? But really what you guys have to remember is that you can build on a budget, and a lot of times if you want to build a car from start to finish, whether that's just wheels, tires, or suspension, you can do that without having to take out all of your FAFSA money from college. You can actually do it while doing other stuff, like being a valuable member of society. Like you can do it while you're also paying off other things. Like what if I told you that you could build a car and buy food that isn't ramen for more than 4 meals out of the week? I mean, it blows your mind to think about if you can actually build on a budget, and you can, because I kind of did it, and some other people that have been around us have done it as well, and we thought we would give you some tips on how to actually build on a budget. And I'm Alex from Fitment Industries. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay to the end. I am going to be giving away one of these hoodies. Now, I don't even wear hoodies, but they're soft, they're comfortable, they're fitted, they're formed, they look great, probably because it's on me. Just kidding, it's definitely not because they're on me. So if you're interested in picking up a free hoodie, stay to the end of the video where I tell you how you can do that. And that's the thing, whether you're going for something that's like a stance show build or you're trying to build something for the autocross, it can be difficult to do. You're out there on Instagram, you're trying to figure out how that other 24-year-old somehow managed to build an entire vehicle while also being like an expert in butterfly research while going to college and having a 3,000 square foot home. Spoiler alert, it's not their money. Anyway, we're gonna talk about the first tip and probably the most important tip when it comes down to building on a budget, which is to research first. Now, if you guys didn't know, there are these really cool things called sales, and sales happen pretty much all the time, but there are two major times in which most companies, like wheels, tires, suspension, things like that, will have sales. That's going to be the month of November and, of course, the month of March, or maybe even April, depending on when they decide to have their tax season blowout. Now, you might be wondering why. Now, wheel companies will almost always have a 20 or 25% off in November, whether that's a buy three, get one free or something of the like, and that's because they're moving inventory out. A lot of it has to do with them releasing new wheels at SEMA, and then they have to get that inventory out before the end of the year, before they bring in new crates before tax season. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to pick up some pretty good looking wheels for 75% of the normal cost of those wheels, which is absolutely incredible if you're trying to pick up a decent set of wheels. And at the same time, there's lots of suspension companies and tire companies that are trying to do the same. They're moving out old inventory, they're doing things like that. Now, if you didn't know, there are also companies like Acura and Airlift that will occasionally do the sale as well. Airlift is iconic for having a 20 to 25% off sale almost every single tax season because they just want to help people get on air. Now, if you're looking to get air, which is almost already a $3,500 kit as a whole, 20 to 25% off is definitely worth waiting for. That $700 can pick you up a set of actual wheels or a good set of tires if that's something that you're willing to do. How's that? And here's a tip. This one's for free. Measure twice, purchase once. Reliability, function, and form are some of the most important things that you can do when you're buying anything for your car. And when you think about it, you really don't want to buy like junk. You want to buy like good stuff, or stuff that like is decent enough that gets you to where you want. Don't try to go the cheapest that you possibly can be, because you're ultimately going to be disappointed unless you plan on taking that car off some sweet jumps just for shits and giggles. A subscriber of ours said it perfectly. He said it's not that hard to build on a budget as long as you do your homework. Research, research, and research before making a game plan. Think twice, buy once, and prioritize. If you really want that wide body, don't blow your wad on something else. Research, plan, and execute. And you really can't say it any better than that. A lot of times what you guys do is we want to get all these different parts, we want to spend all this money on a bunch of different stuff, and then we end up, I don't even want to say blowing your wad, but like you put all your money in one basket, you get super excited about this one thing that you spent all your money on. Next thing you know, you have a car that's on bags, that's tucked on some like 17x7 plus 52 OEM like Nissan Altima wheels. Just don't do that. If you make more guesses and you take more chances and you take more risks and you spend more time on trying to just get something more affordable or trying to get something that is having a different value than just buying what you know is going to be the right value, the right product, the right price, you're ultimately not going to have a good time, and here's why. You're going to be disappointed, aggravated, impatient, angry, sad that you can't grow facial hair, disappointed. I said disappointed already and I brought up facial hair, but ultimately what's gonna happen is a negative impression on when you're trying to build your car. You guys know just as much as I do that when you lose that 10 mil socket for 30 minutes is the biggest waste of your life ever. Imagine doing that 10 or 12 times when trying to build or trying to get yourself a car built on a budget, and you ultimately take a lot of fun out of what it means to build your car and buy the parts that you want. Just save yourself the hassle and understand that if you're buying a quality part, if you're buying something that's already at MAP, you're just gonna be better off in the long run. And that can go for buying used stuff too. Now, we're not gonna say that you shouldn't buy used stuff because there are tons of things out there that are used that are perfect if you wanna build your car on a budget. But just keep in mind that when you're buying used, you're always gonna take a risk of having a bad time. And if you're going to be building a car, why would you want to have a bad time? Tip number 3, don't stare in the sun. Ayo! All right, so tip number 4 is when we talk about things and not being on a budget, we're talking about things where you kind of have to like wheel and deal and how that's not the best thing. There is some exception to that. And what we're gonna get into is the small businesses. A lot of times there'll be like some small fabrication shops and small businesses that will be willing to work with you and even give you a little bit of deal if you help represent their business. Now, I'm not trying to say that to go off and build an Instagram car and tell everybody that you have 30,000 followers to your local fab shop. But what I am saying is there's a lot of people out on Facebook that are trying to make different parts for certain vehicles, and a lot of times those vehicles are your vehicles. If you're willing to help other people out, you can absolutely find good deals and make great connections and network with people if you're willing to support each other, which at the end of the day is probably one of the coolest things about being in the car community in and of itself. And if you can build a car while doing that, thumbs up, brother. So the next and probably the most important tip that I could possibly give everybody on the internet when it comes down to building a car is don't fall into the hype. Don't fall into the hype. Do the thing with that, do it so that you can see it in the text when I'm doing the hand thing. Don't fall into the hype. It's what people do. Let's say you're out there, you're at fitmentindustries.com, it's low-key sales plug, and then you're looking at wheels and you decide you're like, Koenig, these are the ones for me, and then you go and you tell your bros, and then they're like,
bro.
No, bro.
What about those Heritage wheels, bro?
But bro, like bro, I was like, just wanted to get the Koenigs.
Yeah, bro?
I mean, I could get the Heritage.
Really, bro?
Bro. Allow yourself to build a car with your own budget and your own ideas in mind. It's very unlikely that a friend is going to be looking out for your pocketbook and is also going to be looking out for what's going to be the coolest build in your eyes. A lot of times our friends are the guys that ultimately end up making us spend more money on pretty much everything, whether that is alcohol or cars or food or like anything. Friends just like to get you to spend money because either they don't want to spend it or they just think that you're made of money, and then you end up spending all your money and then you're just screwed. Keep your ideas in mind. Keep a budget in mind in your ideas, because what ends up happening is that you will be happier with the end result versus listening to what your friends want you to do. And that goes for pretty much anything in terms of building a car on a budget or just building a car at all. Don't believe the hype. Get what you know you're gonna use, and then also keep in mind your budget, and you're gonna be a happy camper at the end of the day because you're gonna be left with more money to spend on other parts of your build. And our last and final tip for building on a budget is to see what others are doing. Now, unless your B is for build, there's a very unlikely chance that you're the only one building whatever car it is that you have in your garage. There's lots of people out there that have already built cars with that platform, and a lot of times if you look out there what other people are doing, you're not gonna make mistakes, and you're not gonna make the same mistakes if they tell you. A lot of times if you wanna know wheels, tires, suspension, all of that sort of stuff, you can see that over at fitmentindustries.com/gallery. Is that another sales plug? Woo! Yes, it is. Sorry. But you can actually see what a lot of other people are already doing so that you don't have to make the same mistake again, or you can just see what you like and what you don't like, because a lot of times the images that you see online of just the product aren't what they're going to look like on your car. And if you save yourself the disappointment of when you open up those boxes because you know what they look like beforehand, you're gonna save yourself a lot of time, a lot of money, and at the end of the day, have a lot more fun with building your car on a budget. Because first off, it's possible. But at the end of the day, it revolves around you just being a smart buyer and at the same time not falling into the hype of what a lot of the pressures and people around you are trying to get you to do. So let us know in the comment section what you guys think about this and how you stayed on a budget build, or if you said screw budget build, I spent a ton of money on my car. We are doing a giveaway on our sweatshirt. All you need to do actually is let us know, what would you do, PG-13, for one of these sweatshirts? Drop a comment below and we will pick the most hilarious one. We'll send it out. We will drop that out on the next Wheel History that we'll be doing next Thursday. But I'm Alex from Fitment Industries. Don't forget to subscribe and we will see you later. Peace.